Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be my July favorites video. Can you guys believe that it's already the beginning of August? My birthday is in less than 3 weeks. I cannot believe my birthday is coming up so soon and I'm getting so old. I'm gonna be 29. Like, what the hell? This summer is really just flying by, and honestly, this has been the most stressful month for me in a really long time. Like, I am so worried about things lately that this past weekend was amazing. I went to, well, first off, on Saturday, my boyfriend just spent all day with me here because my mom was away, and he was just laying with me, relaxing, on my bed, and it was just amazing. Oh, it was so great. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, I ended up going to the beach with his friends because he, works on Sundays, and they invited me to the beach. And oh my God, it was so needed for me to go outside somewhere, and they always go to Long Beach, and Long Beach is like one of the best beaches on the island. And it was just so nice. It was such a perfect beach day. Like, it was amazing. It was so needed for me. It just felt so good. It was just perfect. Oh my God, it was amazing. And they are such nice people to me. It's so much fun to hang out with them. So I just really feel very comfortable hanging out with them. Like, it's not like weird. It's just for me to get closer to them. And I really feel like we're very close now. I mean, I've known them for 5 years. It's not like they're not good friends of mine, but I've been going out with them more without my boyfriend, just hanging out with them, and it's just a lot of fun. So we went to the beach, and then we went to eat Buffalo Wild Wings, and then we went to watch Game of Thrones, and it was great. So today I'm not really doing that much. I did put some makeup on because I am planning on going to get gas, and I'm also going to stop by Bloomingdale's while my mom is working, and we're going to try on swimsuits because I need a new swimsuit, because after going to the beach yesterday, I realized that I need a new swimsuit. So, and I might go to Sephora and return something, and then I'm going to come home. So anyway, let's jump right in. I think I really, really want to talk about perfume first, because I don't really talk about perfume too much on my channel because I basically use the same Marc Jacobs bottle until it's basically sucked dry. But I decided to whip out some of my testers that I have not used ever this past month, and I have been rotating quite a few of them, and I'm going to show you guys the ones that have been my favorites so far. So these are the 4 that I'm going to be talking about. I pretty much have tested out about 7 so far. It depends on, the scent to me, and if I end up getting hooked on a scent, I want to wear it over and over again. So these are the 4 I've been wearing, like, the past, one of them is a past favorite for the past couple of days, and then the first 3 are, like, staples of mine already that I've been wearing nonstop the past couple of weeks. So these are the 3 I've been obsessed with, and this is the new favorite. So the first one is Valentino's Donna perfume, and this is a little tester of it. I'm wearing it today. This has been my go-to perfume recently. That's why there's like so little left. It smells amazing. It has like this gorgeous floral scent. I think I really like floral scent perfumes. Like, I don't like fruity perfumes too much. I just like something that has a nice bouquet to it. I'm not sure what the notes are of each of these perfumes. I knew that the perfume smell was going to make me start coughing, but holy crap. I might need to grab some water. Hold on one second. Oh my God. Alright, sorry. I was just dying a little bit there. But anyway, this is beautiful. I've been wearing it like so much lately. I love this one. I can't really describe the notes. If you guys want to look them up for yourself, you can. But I just wanted to tell you guys the ones that have been my favorites. Then the next one is by Chloe, and this one is just called Chloe. And this one smells really beautiful too. This one has a very strong scent. I noticed that probably this one's probably the one that lasts the longest on my skin. These all last very long on my skin. They probably last a lot longer than the Marc Jacobs does. I feel like only when I try out new perfumes, that's when they last longer on me. I feel like if I wear the same perfume for a long amount of time, because that's my summer perfume, the honey one, that's my favorite. I feel like my skin gets so used to it that you just can't really smell it anymore once like it goes throughout the day. I feel like it wears off after like an hour or two. But these last on my skin like all day, and I think this one lasts the longest. But this one smells amazing too. Love that one. That one's also kind of floral. Then the other one I've been really loving is by Burberry, and this one is called My Burberry. Oh my god, this smells so good. I don't think I ever really hear anybody talk about this specific Burberry perfume because this is called My Burberry. And this one has a little bit less of a floral scent. It just smells so good. It smells so fresh and beautiful. I love this one too. And then the most recent one I've been trying out, I wore this one for the past 2 straight days because I really loved it. This one is just called, it's by Kate Spade, and it's just called the Kate Spade perfume. And it just says Kate Spade, New York. And then it says on the side of it, live colorfully. So I think that's just her slogan, but it just says Kate Spade on it. This one has a very strong scent as well. This one's probably the most strongly scented because you barely need 2 sprays of this. This one smells really good too. They all just smell very feminine and very girly, and those are like the scents that I really love. I just feel like they work the best on my body chemistry, and I just think that this one smells so good. This is the one that I sprayed a couple of days ago, and my boyfriend, I was like hugging my boyfriend because I felt like a little bit sweaty after we like were playing a game with my family, and I went to hug him, and he's like, ooh, something smells really good, and he thought that I sprayed my dog because I handed Remy to him. We went downstairs in the basement to watch Netflix, and I was handing him Remy, and he's like, oh my god, you smell so good, and I was like, yeah, I just sprayed myself, and he was like, wow, it smells amazing, so this is what I was wearing. And it just smelled really good. So those are the 4 I have been loving, and now let's jump into makeup products. I have quite a few products to talk about this month, but I wanted to talk about new stuff first. I think I really want to talk about, let's see. Let's talk about this first. I think this is the product I've been loving the most this month, and this is probably the newest product that I have tried out. I want to start out with a mascara. I know everyone has been talking about this mascara, but I haven't tried a new mascara in quite a while, and I actually ended up returning the Sleek Cosmetics highlighting palette because I actually, like I said, I wasn't too crazy about it, so I ended up returning it to Ulta because I was like, you know what, I'm not really in love with it. I did feel like the formula was really, really dry, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to exchange it for a new mascara because I actually really needed a new one. Most of my mascaras are pretty dried out right now, so I was like, I want to get a new mascara. So I got the most talked about mascara right now. This is the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. I really like this mascara now. When I was first trying it out, I didn't really love it. I was like, oh, it's okay, it's not that great. But again, sometimes mascaras take quite a few tries in order for you to like it. Because sometimes it has to get, you know, a little bit dried out before you actually like it. And I actually think I really love it now. I'm wearing it today, and that's the only thing I have on my top lashes. Do you see how much volume and separation it gives the lashes? I really do end up loving L'Oreal mascaras and Maybelline mascaras. They're probably my favorite mascaras ever besides the It Cosmetics. Drugstore mascaras are just amazing. And yes, I do feel like that this is a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It has pretty much the same exact wand as you can see. But I do think this is probably better than that because I'm actually ended up liking it more as I try it out more. I still haven't touched the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in a long time. Because I just stopped using it after I discovered like the Dior Show mascara or the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. You know, I was trying out a lot more like high-end mascaras. I didn't love the YSL when I tried it. That one wasn't that great to me. But this one is amazing. I really love it. I do have samples of the Too Faced Better Than Sex. That's why I'm mentioning it again. I might go and try it again. And I was thinking about returning this because I just like have so little money right now that I was like, I might as well use up the Too Faced Better Than Sex samples. But I was like, I have to try out something new, you know? So I tried this out and I really love it so far. So that's definitely my favorite products of this month. And then speaking of Dior, I tried out this Dior Show Maximizer 3D Base Mascara Lash Primer, and this is what it looks like. I again was really trying to go through some of my samples this month, and I have used a couple of them. I'm still very hesitant on using samples. I don't know why. Just like I'm like I already know what I love, so it's like I always stick with the same stuff. The only thing I don't like about this is the packaging. It's like you have to pop it off. It's not a twist top, so that's kind of annoying. But it's a white primer, and I've just heard so many people talk about this. And I do like it so far. I've only used it a few times. I'm so lazy about using lash primer or curling my lashes. And I know that that's horrible, but it's like I'm only leaving on my makeup for a couple of hours sometimes that I feel like it's not necessary. And I feel like this is a really substantial sample size, which I think is really good because Dior products are not inexpensive. They're very expensive. So I tried this out a couple of times, and I think I'm going to be using it up because I really need to start using a lash primer again, and I really like it so far. So I just don't like that it's so white. And then let's talk about this guy right here because I finally got to use it a lot more this month, and I think I'm totally in love with it. And I forgot to mention it last month in my favorites video because I was like, oh, I'm still trying it out, and I didn't want to develop my full thoughts yet because I wasn't quite sure. But now I'm freaking in love with it. This is the NYX Dewy Finish Long-Lasting Setting Spray. And that's what it looks like right here. I feel like it's like almost empty already. Let's see, because I know I can twist this off. I can't really see to the bottom. Wow, yeah. But this stuff is amazing. Like, I am probably never going to repurchase the Urban Decay one again. I know that's horrible, but everyone was telling me that this was such a dupe for the Urban Decay. And when I bought this and I was talking to the guy in the Ulta that I go to, which is the one I used to work at, he's really, really nice. And he gave me his opinion about this one, and he was like, once I tried this, I never went back to the Urban Decay, and he's like, it's like a fraction of the price, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, and I freaking love it. I'm so happy I invested in this, because I bought this along with the Maybelline concealer, and that was like the last makeup purchase I made from Ulta in like a long time, because obviously I don't have money now, and I bought the C Cosmetics palette, and I ended up hating it, because it's such a dry formula. But this I love, and I feel like it's almost done with. That's the pain in the ass about like smaller bottles. At least the Urban Decay lasted like 3 months or more. This has only lasted me probably a month and a half. So it's probably only going to last me like maybe like a couple more weeks, but that's okay. Like at least it'll start getting cooler again within the next few weeks because it's almost August. Well, it's going to be August tomorrow. Okay. So moving on, I kind of forgot to grab one more eyeshadow singles palette, so just give me a second. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave eyeshadow palettes for last because I tried to use so many eyeshadows this past month that I really want to just devote like the last half of the video to eyeshadow palettes. So I'm just going to mention like single products and stuff like that before we move on. Let's talk about highlighters first because you guys know I just love a good glow, and I'm just obsessed with a couple of these products. My go-to highlighter this month, I could not get enough of this highlighter this past month. I don't know why, I fucking love it. This is the Jouer Skinny Dip Powder Highlighter. I did mention it in my last favorites video, but this month I could not stop using this. I mixed it with so many different highlighters this month, and I always used it as my go-to as to use an excuse me, and add an extra pop to my highlight. And this is just so gorgeous, like mixed together with other highlighters. It was just my go-to. It's just so gorgeous. It's so buttery, and it's just so intense that it just adds such a beautiful glow and intensity to any highlighter you add it to. It was just beautiful. So again, I'm obsessed with this. I love it so much. And then I mixed it with this bad boy right here yesterday. I used it with the Highlight Blossoms palette by Langcrime. And I used these two gold shades with it. And it was just so beautiful. And I haven't worn this in a little while either. And I decided to whip it out yesterday because I really wanted like a warm gold highlight yesterday for the beach. And obviously this one's called Warm Gold. I'm like, how much closer can you get to Warm Gold? by using this, and oh my god, it was so freaking beautiful on my skin. Like, oh my god, this warm gold highlighter is just amazing. I love this one. It's my favorite one from the palette. Look at that. It's so beautiful. But I also did get a chance to use the lavender highlight more this month. This one in the middle. I'm not as crazy about that one as I am about these two. These two are just really beautiful on the outer parts, the two gold shades, but the lavender isn't as intense, but it's still very pretty. I just wish it was as intense as the other two. I know some people like intense highlighters at one point, and they like a lighter highlighter at some, like during other days and stuff, for like an everyday look, but it's like I wanted the formula to be a little bit more consistent. Remember how I said last month that like the formula isn't really consistent across the board with these? Like I really was expecting all of them to be really intense. And I'm not mentioning the Mermaid's highlight palette this month because I really didn't touch that highlighting palette that much this past month. I probably only used it like maybe one more time. But I'm waiting for the right occasion to use it so I can really use those beautiful blue and lavender highlights at some other point, because I haven't really been wearing like that many colorful eye looks lately because I've been really just staying home with my boyfriend or not really going out that much because, again, I don't have that much money. And when I was going out, it was to handle like school stuff or going to interviews for jobs. So yeah, but anyway, this was beautiful. So that was that one. And then the next highlight that I've actually been diving into the past week or so is the Too Faced Love Light Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Blinded by the Light. I know I didn't really mention this last month because I wasn't really that crazy about it when I first tried it. This is what it looks like. It's just, the packaging is so gorgeous, but again, you guys know how I feel about Too Faced lately. I'm just not a huge fan of their products anymore. They used to make really solid products for me, and now I just feel like after seeing the white chocolate bar palette and seeing the random ass colors that they threw into that palette, I'm just like, I'm kind of done with the brand right now. They do still make beautiful products that I really love, and I still use them because they're in my collection, and I'm gonna use them because, like I've said this like a million times before, like I try to take advantage of using all of my makeup in my collection. But I decided to whip this out and try it because this is the newest product that I got from Too Faced because my best friend gave it to me for my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I found it again because I accidentally left it in my bag from the last time I hauled everything, so I hadn't used it since then. So I decided to use it this past week, and I've used it a couple of times already, and I think it was really pretty. Like, it adds this really pretty, like, glow to your skin. I almost wore it today. Like, I've been mixing it with other highlighters, and it's just really pretty. If you can see that, I think it swatches really nicely. And out of all the ones that beauty gurus have reviewed and said their thoughts on these, they said that this one was the best one, so I'm really glad that I have this one. My best friend has the other two. She bought the other two for herself, and she was like, yeah, you can try this, and then she just gave it to me. So I'm really happy that she gave it to me. That was so sweet. And me and her, oh, Jesus. Me and her constantly buy Too Faced products for each other for our birthdays and for Christmas, like, because she loves Too Faced just as much as I do, and it's just so much fun to have her try out the new products with me. And yeah, so that is the one that I really liked this month. And then, of course, I have to give a shout out to my Ofra highlighters again. Oh my god, these are amazing. I probably didn't use these as much this month as I did. Actually, I did use these quite a bit this past month. I did still go for the Ofra highlighter in the shade Rodeo Drive. Like, basically, every time I wore, like, a gold look or, like, a gold shade on my lid, I was always going for this to match it. And it's just so freaking beautiful. But what I've noticed with this is that I have to make sure that my highlighting brush is like clean because I feel like my Anastasia brush is just like wearing out, and I feel like it doesn't really apply my highlight as intensely. Like, I'm wearing the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 palette today, and I do really like it because it's like I don't really need a super intense highlight today because I was going for something more natural. But it's like when I'm applying like more intense highlighters, it just applies it like a huge chunk of like a strip of highlight, and I don't love that. So that happens like with more intense highlighters like this, like especially gold ones, because gold ones like are more pigmented and more gold, obviously. But it's still gorgeous, but it's like it applies more like gold than like more like just like an intense highlight. But this is gorgeous. Like I love this highlighter so much. It's just amazing. So that one is Rodeo Drive right there. Oh God. I'm so sick of this frickin' Smithtown like rental house place calling me every single freaking day. It drives me insane. So I blocked them, but it still shows up on my phone, so it just drives me nuts. I feel like they keep on calling me from a different number. I probably need to call them and be like, hey, stop freaking calling me. So yeah, that's that highlighter. You guys know I love that. And then the other one is in the shade, well, the shades Beverly Hills. And I've been mixing some of these this month. I really like mixing like these four together. I don't use this one as often because this one's pretty dark for me, but I do really love it on like a really intense day when I want like a really intense gold highlight. This is like the most intense gold highlight I own. But I really like mixing these two together or these two together. Like they're amazingly beautiful. So again, obsessed with the Ofra highlighters. Like they are just so pigmented. Do you see that? Like, that's insane. Like, that white highlight. I'm probably going to live in that in the winter time and, like, not wear Becca's Pearl anymore because that is amazing. So, yeah. Those are the two from Ofra. You guys know I love those. And then the last highlighter I wanted to mention, I think this is it, actually, for highlighters. Yeah. Okay, then. Is the ColourPop Double Play Pressed Powder Duo. And the highlighter is called Pat It Down. I can never remember the names of these. I always forget. So this is the highlighter that I tried out from ColourPop last month, and I still really love it. I've worn it a couple of times this past month. The blush I actually wore for the first time yesterday, so I'm going to be talking about blush right after this. I love how I can just dive into blush like I did in my last favorites video when I brought this up. But yeah, this highlight was gorgeous this past month. I love it. It's just really beautiful. I really love the ColourPop powder products. They really did do an amazing job on the powder products. And now, of course, this past month they came out with a highlighting palette. And I really wish I would have waited for that just to buy that instead of this because it's pretty much the same exact price. But I really, again, really wanted to try out one of their powder blushes, and I love this blush as well. I think I've been finding that this, like, applies a lot better now. It doesn't really fade right off my skin like it did before. I mean, it's still gorgeous when I reapply it, but, like, when I would first apply it, it wouldn't really last. Sorry, like, my throat keeps on getting, like, raspy. Okay, and then the blush I really do love as well. It's one of my go-to everyday blushes. And then I just wanted to mention two other blushes. And then we're just going to move on to eyeshadow and lipstick and foundation. And that's pretty much it. So, where's the other blush? Where is it? There it is. The first one is the one I'm wearing today. This is the other ColourPop blush that I got last month. And this one is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Birthday Suit. Why do I always think this one is called Between the Sheets? But that's the last one that I had. And this one's a really gorgeous pinky satin blush. It's just so pretty. I love satin blushes. They're just so beautiful. And I've been using this the past month. And I'm actually wearing it today. And it just leaves a really gorgeous, like, flush of pink on the cheeks. And I just love that they're so inexpensive. So, like, that's why I like it's a little bit more sheer. But I'm not wearing foundation today. I'm actually trying out a new concealer today. I'll update you guys my thoughts on that. But that is the other blush that I've been using lately. And then the last blush I wanted to mention is the Becca luminous blush in the shade Camellia. I finally whipped this out this past month. I used to live in this blush and the shade Tiger Lily like all last summer, and for some reason this past summer I just barely have worn them because, again, I didn't really go for that many colorful looks this month. And when I did go out, I was going with glitter on my eyes, like gold and rose gold glitter. And I was going for red lips, so I wasn't going to wear a pink or an orange bright-ass blush with that. So when I did go out, I was wearing red lips. So because I was living in this one red lip that I can't wait to talk about with you guys because it's like my other favorite product this month. So yeah, this one's in the shade Camellia. This is a really gorgeous luminous pink blush. I love these blushes from Becca. And I just realized when I wore this the last time that it's just one of my favorite blushes for the summertime. So I really have to whip this out and Tiger Lily this next month. I'm hoping this month I will make some money because I did finally get a job at Lucky Brand Jeans. But of course, you know, it's not a server job, so I'm not going to be making as much money. But hey, at least it's something, so I'll be able to have some kind of money this month. So yeah, that's it for blushes. And now let's move on to just one concealer. I forgot to mention this one. So this used to be one of my favorite concealers back in like 2015. I don't think I've touched this concealer in probably a year or so. And oh my god, my friend just like won't stop texting me. It's really, really annoying. Like, I love when people just text me at the most inconvenient times for me. It's always when I'm filming. Always when I'm filming. So anyway, this is the concealer that I decided to give another shot to because I had 2 other samples of it. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try it out again. And this is, obviously, you can tell, the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And I have 3 samples of my exact shade. I'm in the shade Vanilla Light 2. So this is the last sample that I do have. I did go through 2 of them because I tried it out twice and it's like not that sanitary to keep it out more than once because then it starts getting dried out. And I actually really think I like this concealer again. But what I do notice is that it does crease pretty badly like as soon as you apply it. Like right where like my lines are, like especially this line right here. This is always the worst line that I have. It's probably worse on this side than it is on this side. But it does cover really nicely, but it does take a little bit longer to blend out. Like probably just as long as my Tarte concealer, like the Tarte Shape Tape, which I've been trying out more this month as well, and I want to see like how I feel about it because I'm always very torn about that concealer. I don't know if I love it or hate it. And then I feel like it's the same way with this. I probably have to test it out a little bit more. But this is going to be the last time I test it out because then I have to throw this one out. So I will let you guys know, again, of my thoughts on this. But I really do think I still like it a lot. But I think I have to try it out one more time to develop my full thoughts on that. And then let's just jump into 2 foundations this month. I really think I can say I love these 2 foundations now. I know I've told you guys that like I love and then I like don't, I just like it. Don't know if I love it, but now I think I really have fallen in love with both of these. The first one is the Dior Skin Forever Perfect Makeup Everlasting Wear Pore Refining Effect with Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 35 Shine Control Foundation. And this one is in the shade 014, 014. And it just says Dior Skin Forever. It doesn't say an actual foundation shade. It just says 014. You guys know I've been trying this out since the Vibe sale, and I actually use this more as like my go-to foundation for full coverage days, and I still really love this. I think I'm actually in love with this now. I really love how it just blends into the skin. It's just so beautiful, and it's just easy to get a full coverage, natural look out of this foundation. It's almost like undetectable. It's just so gorgeous. I mean, you can tell you're wearing foundation. I take that back. But it just really reminds me of my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. But it's like, you know, the perfect shade for me. Like that foundation's like not the perfect shade for me. But it kind of reminds me of the same consistency as that. But the Born This Way is even more natural. But this feels really amazing on the skin. And I just really, really love it. So I've been loving that. But I was also debating about returning this because this was like the only other item I was thinking about returning besides the Benefit California blush, which I actually ended up returning because I just never found myself wearing it that much. And I don't love it as much as my other Benefit box blushes. So I ended up returning that and the Smashbox concealer to Sephora. And those were the 2 that I got with my 10% off coupon after the Vibe sale. But I just didn't really love either of them. So I just ended up returning that as well. But I decided not to return this. I mean, I could get a sample of it and return this, but I feel like Sephora's like kind of trying to get people not to return things too much because I feel like they've made it very difficult for you to find to find purchase history on the app now. And now it's like really annoying. So now I'm going to try and see if I can still return something. So yeah, this is the first foundation. And then the last one is the L'Oreal Paris True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup Oxynoxate Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 20 in the shade N12 N1-2 Neutral Soft Classic Ivory. I know that I always bring up this foundation, and I just love the packaging of this. I think it's just such great drugstore packaging. This is a glass bottle, so I can understand why this one is a little bit more expensive than my other foundations, because this is really nice packaging. And I know that people, again, say that this is a dupe for the Giorgio Armani. I don't feel that way. Yes, it is very similar, but I do find that this one gets more shiny throughout the day than the Giorgio Armani. Like, this one is hella dewy. You will not like this if you have oily skin. But I think that this is like a dry skin lover's dream. Like, if you love the Giorgio Armani and you want to check out something that's really less expensive, you should go for this because it's beautiful. I really have been whipping this out a lot for more natural makeup days, and I really have been using this, the Naked Skin Hybrid Complexion Perfector, and my Giorgio Armani foundation and my Tarte foundation. Those are like my go-tos in the summertime. The Tarte I'm running out of, so that's why I've been grabbing for this one a lot more. And I really think I love this now. It just gives beautiful coverage to the skin. And it's really beautiful once you finish your makeup. I just feel like it really comes together after you finish your makeup when you wear this. But again, I feel like it gets very dewy by the end of the day. Like, I was hella shiny when I was like filming. I think I was filming my Battle of the Liquid Lipsticks video, which will be up very soon. I just have to post one more lipstick review and check-in on a Makeup Geek one. And then I can tell you guys my full thoughts on the newer formulas that I've tried. But I think I was wearing that foundation in this video and I looked really hella shiny. But I loved it because I love looking dewy by the end of the day. Okay, I think that's it for foundation. And speaking of foundation, I just wanted to mention one primer really quickly. I don't whip out this primer all that often, but I tried to use it more this past month, and I actually really love it. This is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. This is the full size. I got this a while ago, like a year ago, and I really feel like I need to use it more. I mean, it is expired now, but it's not really that big of a deal because it's a very moisturizing primer. Like, this is hella moisturizing. You barely need anything, and it just feels really nice and hydrating in the summertime. Like, I really love the hydration that it gives you before you like go out in the summer or even the winter time. And it's really feels beautiful with the Smashbox Primer Water. I really like wearing both of those together, so I really love that. And then I just want to mention a couple of lip products before we move on to eyeshadows. You know what? Let's talk about eyeshadow first. I'm just too excited to talk about eyeshadow. So the one eyeshadow palette that I just could not get enough of again this past month, I just think I'm absolutely in love with this palette now, and I know it's like so hyped up, but I love it. It's amazing. This is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I just love this palette. It's amazing, and I really love, I really grab for this when I am going out for like for a summer look, you know, like, it's just really beautiful for the summertime. And again, I told you guys I was going to be grabbing this over like everything else. And the Too Faced Peach palette, like, those are going to be my go-tos this summer. And I think I'm going to, again, use this this whole month as well, at least a couple more times. But I just really love this. I really love that this palette had a lot more mattes in it. I feel like that's why I gravitate towards using this one. But again, I did use my Naked 1 and my Naked 3 this past month, and after using them, I still think I like this one more. The Naked 3, I noticed, is a lot more crumbly, and it just, like, the lid shades transfer like crazy, and I feel like, but I also feel like because that one's older, that one might be getting, you know, old, and it might be time to declutter it at some point, but again, I'm, like, never getting rid of that because that's, like, such a nostalgic palette for me because my boyfriend got that for me like 2 years ago. But this, let's get back to this one as my throat is like drying out again. Oh, damn it. I'm so retarded with straws sometimes. I'm sorry. Anyway, I do really love that they put a lot more matte shades in this palette because I feel like it makes me gravitate towards using this palette a lot more because you have so many matte options, and the other Naked palettes just didn't have that. They would have like 1 or 2 matte shades. And I remember after watching Stephanie Nicole's review, like that's the one thing that she really loved about it too. And she hates the first 3 Naked palettes. So I was like, if she loves this palette, I love this palette. And I'm not saying that that I love everything that she loves, because I tried the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores under eye concealer. I hated that concealer, so I don't love everything that she loves, but she is older than me, so obviously she would love that concealer more than me. I don't need that much coverage. Because I have like a lot younger skin. But these 4 right here I use in probably every single look that I do. I love using Chaser as a transition shade and Sauce as my crease shade. And then I use any one of these in my crease to create a, deeper crease. And then for the outer corners, I love using these 3 shades. You just have a lot of options for matte shades. And then you have these beautiful lid shades to pair with them. And then you always have this as a brow bone highlight. So they really laid this palette out amazingly. And it's just a gorgeous palette for the summertime. So, and the pigmentation, you guys. This is the Scorched shade. I wore this yesterday. Oh, so that's 1 swipe. That was literally 1 swipe. And this shade Ember, 1 swipe, you guys. So beautiful. Like, so pigmented. They're amazing. So yeah, again, obsessed, and I think you should go out and buy this. If you don't have a warm palette that you love for the summertime, go out and buy this. It's amazing. And then the other one I wanted to mention that I just really love as well, sorry my voice is cracking, is the Jouer Skinny Dip Ultra Foiled Shimmer Shadows palette. I, again, didn't really get to wear all of these on my lid this month, which sucks because I knew I wasn't going to be able to. I really tried to rotate more of my Stila glitters this month. And the only shades that I wore this past month on my lid were these 2 shades right here. I really want to dive into this shade here and also Starlight. The only other one I've worn on my lid is this one. I haven't touched these 2. I really want to wear this one. I'm going to wear to a concert on Thursday. One of my friends that I told you guys that I went to with to the Backstreet Boys concert. She invited me to a country concert to Brad Paisley on Thursday, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I'm going to wear this on my lid on Thursday because I'm thinking about wearing a BB maxi dress to the concert, so I can't wait to wear this with, like, probably, like, some cooler tone eyeshadows. We'll see, but this is going to be so gorgeous. But I have really been using these 2 shades this month, Skinny Dip and Tan Lines, and I have been obsessed with Skinny Dip on the inner corners. I use it any chance I can. I just used it yesterday on the inner corners with the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette when I went to the beach, and oh my god, they're just so gorgeous. This one's Skinny Dip, and this one is Tan Lines. Oh my god. Let me wipe away some of these highlights. And those are both, let me just get a better swatch of Tan Lines. That's 2 swipes. Skinny Dip is 1. Look how beautiful Skinny Dip is. That one is this one right here. I can't get enough of this palette though. Like, they're all amazing, and I do think that these actually apply a little bit better than the Stila glitters because these don't have as much fallout or as much, like, that falls out onto your eyes, like, after you apply them. But this is gorgeous as well, and I've been loving this on my eyes as well. But it's just been so difficult for me to apply eyeliner with the Stila glitters. Let's mention those really quickly. The 2 that I got to wear again this month, and they're so beautiful, is the Stila Magnificent Metal Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows in these shades Bronze Belle and Smoldering Satin. Again, these are the newer shades that I had gotten when I did my online makeup haul. And I didn't mention them last month because it's like I still wanted to test them out more. But again, these are just amazingly gorgeous. They are so beautiful on the lid. But the problem that I have with them is that it's really hard to do eyeliner with these because with glitter eyeshadows, it's just so difficult. So those are the 2 shades. Smoldering Satin is more of like a grayer toned, like taupey color. And then the Bronze Belle is much more of like a bronzy shade, obviously. And it just ends up like falling out under your eyes regardless if you do your face makeup first or not. And regardless if you do your eye makeup first, because I always do my eye makeup first when I use these, and I've been using these so much with this palette, because I really love using these with this palette right here, and I really wanted to make it my business to whip this palette out more this past month, and I'll mention it in a minute, but that's the problem I've been having with these. I've been using my liquid eyeliner a lot more for this. I don't think I've been using any other eyeliner because it's just so difficult to get any other eyeliners to apply, so I've just been using liquid eyeliner, and I find that that works a lot better, but still it's like a pain in the ass to use that Urban Decay eyeliner. But I've been pairing those so much with the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. This used to be like my go-to palette to use with those, and I would use like some of these eyeshadows as bases, but I've been using this palette more this past month, and oh my god, I probably have whipped this out every single time I've used those glitters. So I think I've used it about 3 times, but I've been sticking with kind of the same shades. I've been using the matte shades right here, Air, Royal Prerogative, and Duchess. And those are always like my standard go-to shadows in the crease. I use this as a transition shade, this as my crease shade, and then this is like my outer corner shade. And then for the lid shades, I use Your Majesty and Royal Highness. I used Royal Highness as a base with Smoldering Satin, and it was so gorgeous. And I used Your Majesty as a base with Kitten Karma. So pretty. So I used this when I went out to karaoke, and I always mix these 2 shades, Crown and Your Majesty, on my inner corners. Oh my god. Like, you guys, I can't rave about this palette enough. I'm not going to swatch it. I have a full swatching and comparison video on Juvia's Place and this palette right here. I've been getting a lot of views on that, and I'm really happy that I made that video. I didn't really wear the Juvia's Place palette this past month. Like I said, I've been rotating my eyeshadow palettes like crazy this month, and I really tried to make it my business to rotate my eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so I already talked about these 3. Now let's mention the one that I'm wearing today. I really whipped out my Tartelette in Bloom palette this month. I did use it once before this month, and now this is the second time I'm using it this month. I know that's not too much because I'm the type of person that needs to rotate their eyeshadow palettes pretty much every single day. The Urban Decay Naked Heat palette I probably use 2 or 3 times, and that's it. Like, I'm not a person that will wear eyeshadow every single day unless I absolutely need to, or if I am intending on going somewhere. Like, I'm not just going to wear it around the house, you know? So this is the other palette that I used a lot more this month. And I still really like this palette. I do think I like the matte shades more, but I don't think I like this palette as much as I used to after really rotating my eyeshadow palettes this month. I do find that the lid shades are very chunky and glittery, especially when I was applying it to my inner corners. And I am wearing Funny Girl on the inner corners today, this one right here. And it's pretty, and I do really like the matte shades, but at the same time, I do think I have better mattes in my collection. They apply very lightly. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I do really like that for natural makeup days. Like, I'm wearing Flower Child as a transition shade, and then I'm wearing Sweetheart in the crease, and then I'm wearing these 2 to darken up the crease more, Smarty Pants and Jet Setter, and they didn't really show up that much. And then I tried to smudge those 2 shades on my lower lash line, and again, they didn't really show up that much. But I do find that there's not really like a lid shade that I really want to wear every single day for this, so I did pair it with Makeup Geek's Nostalgia, which I'm going to mention in a minute. But yeah, I do find that there might be like other better palettes in my collection than this one. I did want to mention one that actually really impressed me when I used it last. But that one, I like it. But again, Tarte eyeshadows and stuff aren't like my favorite formula, but it is a good palette. It's not like one of my absolute favorites, but I do really like it. And then the Makeup Geek eyeshadows I did grab for quite a few times this month. I think the last time I used them though was like July 4th, but I did try and rotate these 2 into my collection, into my rotation. But these were the ones that were the new ones I picked up. Bake Sale, Tan Lines, and Tiki Hut. Those are really pretty. And then this one is Sidekick. So those are really pretty matte shades, you know, the basic matte shades that matte formula that I like from Makeup Geek. And then this one I'm wearing on my lid today. It's such a pretty soft pink color. And then this one is called Legend, which is a really gorgeous lid shade. That one's like probably my favorite one. Again, it's so pigmented. It's really beautiful. Very similar to Your Majesty from the ColourPop, from the Colored Rain palette. And that's the gold shade right there. So those shades are also really beautiful. And then the other palettes that I really tried to rotate, this is a newer palette as well, the Dose of Colors Baked Browns eyeshadow palette. This one is really, I almost wore this one today, but I forgot that I wore this already in my last favorites video, so I was like, no, I'm not going to wear it again. But I have been grabbing for this quite a bit. These, I swear to God, these are really beautiful. They are just so pigmented and just really, again, really solid formula of eyeshadows. This is probably my favorite new formula that I've tried, besides the Jouer and the Naked Heat palette. I mean, I love Urban Decay's formula anyway, but this is definitely a really solid formula. I love it, and I probably have used this about 6 or 7 times, and I can already say I love them. Like, I don't have to use matte shades a lot to determine whether I love them or not, or I really don't have to use it too much in order to get use out of them, because you always end up going back to matte shades over shimmer shades anyway, because you wear matte shades every single day if you're going to wear eyeshadow. But yeah, definitely my favorite eyeshadow formula I've tried. This is definitely worth it. Dose of Colors did an amazing job on this palette. And then the other palette I whipped out more this month, that I made it my business to whip out this palette more because I really wanted to use it more, is the Urban Decay After Dark palette, because I can't believe I only had rotated these eyeshadows only like a few times, and the only ones I really used a lot more were the purple shades. But I really made it my business to try and use more of these shades up here, and I did use Supersonic once, like a couple of weeks ago, and it was so gorgeous on the lid, so that was really beautiful. And then I did use Scene and Alter on the inner corners when I used that one, and it was just so pretty, and I used it with the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, so that's the other time I whipped it out this month. So yeah, I think I used it 3 times this month, so that's still pretty good. For me anyway. And then I did use Druggy and Backfire in a look, I think, this past month with a Doctor Who shirt. So yeah, and then I think I used this one at some point. I don't remember. But these are all beautiful, all solid eyeshadows. I love Urban Decay's formula. And I think that this is the one that's replacing the Urban Decay Electric palette. But nothing will beat the Urban Decay Electric palette. It's just because that palette's amazing. But I still love this one. I'm not hating on this one at all. But nothing beats the Urban Decay Electric palette. But this is also gorgeous as well. I don't like how people are like, oh, this is so much worse than the Electric palette. I'm like, no, this palette's amazing as well. So, and then the last new eyeshadows I wanted to mention, and then I'm going to mention just 3 eyeshadow palettes that I really loved this month that really surprised me for one eyeshadow palette, are the 2 ColourPop single shadows that I got, and I actually used these a lot more this past month. This one's in the shade Lala, and this one's in the shade Boy Band. This was the one that I was wearing last time in my favorites video on my lid. And I finally got to use it again this past week. So now I can tell you guys that I actually really love it. But, you know, I love ColourPop eyeshadows anyway. They're always amazing. This one is Lala. And let me swatch it on my hand. I don't think I swatched it in the last video. So that one is Lala right there. Look how pretty it is. It's like very similar to Sequin. It's like a beautiful rose gold. And you guys know how much I love rose gold shades. And then the other one is Boy Band, which is, again, pretty similar to other ones I have from ColourPop. It's like a bronzy color, but I always remember Andrea Mattiliano always talk about this color, and I was like, you know what, I really want to try it out for myself. And this one is Boy Band. That one's also a really pretty bronzy shade. So, duh, I love ColourPop. And then the last 3 eyeshadow, I can't believe I have 3 more eyeshadow palettes. The first one is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. I actually used this palette twice this past week because the first time I used it, I didn't really get that much use out of it because I put it on and I put foundation on, and the only place I went to was IHOP because I wanted to talk to the manager about a job there, and I was potentially either supposed to see my best friend or I was supposed to see my boyfriend, and both of them didn't get back to me about seeing them. So I ended up seeing my boyfriend the next day instead of on that Wednesday when I went out and I wore this. So I didn't really get to wear it, so I wore it again, and I wore it with, like, other lid shades, and it looks so pretty. I think I wore Boy Band when I wore this, and the time before that, I wore Kathleen Lights on my lid as a base, and I wore Peanut Brittle over it. But, you guys, this is the last time that Too Faced made a solid peanut butter palette. The honey palette I heard is horrible. I love this palette so much. It just blends so beautifully, and it's just so easy to come up with a look with this palette. I always use like these same shades though. I always use like this in the crease, peanut butter of course, and then I use Nuts About You to darken up the crease more, and then I use Peanut Butter Cup on the outer corners, and then I always use like Peanut Brittle or Bananas on the lid. But I love Bananas on the inner corners. That's my favorite shade in this palette, and then I always use this one on the brow bone. So it's just really easy to create a look with this palette, and then you can switch it up and just use the purple on the lid and this on the outer corners, and then use those same shades in the crease. So it's just a really pretty palette. So really love that one. And then the last two, this eyeshadow formula really impressed me the last time I used it, and every time I use this, I feel like I'm like, oh my god, I really need to use it more. And this is the Marc Jacobs The Lovers palette, and I know how I've said before that I really regret buying this, but then every time I use it, I regret the price of it. I regret spending 60 bucks on this thing because I don't think this is worth $60 at all. I think this is worth like probably 40. I don't know why they're so damn expensive. I mean, you do get 7 eyeshadows, which isn't too bad. It's like kind of, and you get like pretty substantial amount. And again, who's going to hit pan on an eyeshadow anytime soon? I definitely don't. It takes me 10 gajillion years to hit pan on Makeup Geek eyeshadows because those are the only ones I hit pan on. But I used these a couple of days ago and they were so pretty. They blended really nicely and I was like, okay, Marc Jacobs, I really like your eyeshadows. Like, but I just wish they weren't so expensive. But now they're discontinuing, like, most of these. I think they're discontinuing this one and, most of the other ones. And they were selling them for $25 a pop at TJ Maxx. And I was like, oh, why? Like, why? Like, why didn't I just wait for them to be discontinued? Like, I would have not bought it at that time if I knew, like, well, obviously I couldn't know when they were discontinuing them. But it's like, I bought this at the same exact time. Sorry, I, like, spazzed out. As the Marc Jacobs bronzer, and I use that so much more than I do use this. Like, I got my complete money's worth out of that. This, not really, but again, it is a beautiful formula, so I'm glad I finally think it's worth it. It took me like a year and a half, but it was just really beautiful. And then the last eyeshadows I wanted to mention were the Buxom eyeshadows that I made a custom palette out of. I got to use these just once this month. I know that's horrible, but I really am going to try and use this more this month as well. I'm probably not going to rotate as many eyeshadow palettes this month because I want to use a lot more of my single shadows this month. But also, I'm going to concentrate on like 5 or 6 other palettes this month, like my 3 Too Faced palettes, again, the chocolate bar, this palette, some newer palettes, and that's probably it. I'm not going to, like, go crazy about using every single, and, like, my 2 Lime Crime Venus palettes, like, those are pretty much my goal to use this month as well. And, like, my other ones that are still on my list, I think I rotated at least 30 eyeshadow palettes this month. So I think that's really good for me, especially since I used the Colored Rain and the Urban Decay After Dark and the Urban Decay Naked Heat. Like, those were, like, my top 3 priorities to use. I think I did a pretty good job rotating eyeshadows this month because I was like, I'm neglecting way too many of my eyeshadows, and it's like, it's so easy for me to rotate them if I just use a different palette every day, and I think I did a pretty good job. So these are really beautiful. They blend really nicely. I love the formula of these. These are a really solid formula of eyeshadows as well. They're really, really good. I definitely love their eyeshadows more than their lip products. I really don't like their lip products, but they're really pretty. Like, They blend so beautifully. I love this in the crease. I never remember the names of these, but I will probably leave them below if you guys are interested. If anybody wants to ask me in the comments, let me know, and I'll tell you guys the shades. I believe this one's called Gold Status. Really beautiful on the lid. They're just a really solid formula. So that's it for the eyeshadows. I know that was a lot of eyeshadows, and now let's just talk about a few lip products. So my go-to lip liner this month was MAC's Subculture. I've just been using this so much this past month. Like, after I, like, rediscover it, I use it, like, with every single lip product. So I'm, like, wearing it today with this because I was planning on using a nude lipstick today, but then I decided to wear this one, and I just thought it looked so pretty with this look. So I was like, yes, I'm wearing this. But the one that I fell in love with this month, and I know I told you guys I wasn't able to use this really this last month when I got it because I didn't have anything to wear it to. I wore this every single time I wore a red lipstick when I was going out. I was obsessed with this. This is the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade New Americana. Oh my god, I think that this is I'm sorry, I'm like stretching, but also I'm like, oh my god. This is probably, I probably love this more than Red Velvet, which is a lot for me to say, and I think I even love this more than ColourPop's Creeper. It's so perfect. It is so perfect formula-wise. It's so opaque, and it lasts so long. I love it, and it lasts so amazingly through eating. This is like the best red liquid lipstick I've tried in a long time. Sorry, my neck is starting to hurt me. Look at this. It's amazing. I love it so much, and I wore this in my first new products collab video with Snack Time with Chip. She did a beautiful look on her channel, and I wore this on my lips when I wore like a Stila glitter on my lid because we were both using those in our videos and we wanted to use that as our new products. And I wore this for the first time, I believe, and I was like, you know what, I'm pulling out the stops and I'm wearing it on 4th of July because I hadn't been able to wear it before that. And yes, I was just going to my boyfriend's house and I was like, I probably just should wear a nude, but I was like, it's 4th of July, I'm wearing a freaking red lip. I love wearing red lips on 4th of July and Christmas, even though I just go over my boyfriend's house for them. This is amazing. I love it so, so, so much. It's amazing. And then, of course, the 3 Makeup Geek lip products that I was trying out last month. I actually really like these. They're not, like, flipping amazing, but I do talk about them a lot more in detail in my check-in and reviews and also in my Battle of the Liquid Lipsticks video, which should be going up probably this week right after I post the last check-in that I have to do. This one is the Makeup Geek Plush Matte, and this one is in the shade Goody Two Shoes. Really beautiful pink shade. I love this one. This is actually my favorite formula out of the 3. Then the next one is the Makeup Geek Showstopper Cream Lip Stain in the shade Waltz. This is a really gorgeous nude. I've actually been wearing this quite a bit this past month. And also I wanted to be testing out the formula a little bit more, but it's a really pretty shade. I really like wearing this just for like a soft lip. Again, it's very, very comfortable. And then the last one is the Makeup Geek Plush Cream, and this one is in the shade Jet Setter. And this one is not a liquid lipstick, it's just like a regular liquid lip cream. And this one is a little bit more cool tone than the Showstopper Cream Lip Stain. This one kind of feels thicker when I swatched it. That one's Jet Setter. And this one's a lot more cooler tone, but again, it's very comfortable on the lips. And then the last liquid lipstick, I think I finally like this. This is the Makeup Forever Artist Liquid Matte in the shade 103. I was very torn on my thoughts on this liquid lipstick because, you know, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I actually used it quite a bit this month. And these were like my go-tos this past month were these 2 liquid lipsticks because I really wanted to see if I liked them. And then I think I rotated them with like the Marc Jacobs and like other Ultra Satins and Lime Crimes like nude lipsticks. But I wore a lot more regular lipsticks this past month because again I wasn't doing as much. So I think I wore almost all of my MAC nudes this month and like a lot of my nude other formulas this month. Sorry, my ear is itchy. And that's the shade right there, 103. I actually think I really like this now. It's not as crumbly as I thought it was. And I think it's really nice on the lips and it's very comfortable. But again, we'll be updating your thoughts. I feel like I have to always use a product like so many times in order for me to tell you guys my full thoughts, because sometimes I don't even remember how I actually felt about a certain lip product. Or like, I feel like foundation, concealer, and lip products are always the hardest for me to tell you guys my thoughts on. I feel like eyeshadows I know like right away, and blushes and highlights are pretty easy for me to tell. But I feel like liquid products takes me a lot longer. And then the last product I wanted to mention was the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser for all skin types, rich in amino acids, gently cleanses face and eyes by Fresh. And since I ran out of my Aquamarina from Lush, and I've been testing out other like smaller cleansers that I have because I can't repurchase it right now because again, don't have money for it. This is really nice and gentle on your skin. The only thing I don't like about it is the smell because it's soy, so it doesn't smell that great. It's not horrible, like it's not anything bad, but it's not anything that's like appetizing to like for me to smell. But it's just really soft and nice on my face, so I really have been loving this, and I've been using this with the Glam Glow. I actually used that one up, so I didn't mention it in this video, but the Glam Glow, let me grab it really, really quickly. It's like right in my bag. Just give me like 2 seconds. Oh my god, it should be right on the top. Here it is. This is the, this is the Glam Glow Super Cleanse Daily Clearing Cleanser, Mud to Foam Cleanser, and this is what it looks like. I really like this, but I don't find that this foams up that much at all. I actually just realized that. I was like, this doesn't really foam up that much. I'm like, what are they talking about foam? Because I don't really feel that way about this. But it's a really nice formula. I thought when I always like try out these black charcoal kind of cleansers or mud kind of cleansers, I feel like they're going to be too harsh for me, but this one is really nice. You just don't need that much of it, or else like it will kind of like have that burning sensation a little bit, or like that exfoliating sensation that's like too much for my skin. But if I use like a little amount of this, it's really, really nice. And yeah, that is it. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at CUW819, and my Twitter is PokerFace819, and my Snapchat is PokerFace819. I know that was a lot of products to get through. I think I did a pretty good job. I'm starving right now, so I'm going to call my best friend because she wants me to call her before I go to Bloomingdale's, and then I'm going to go to Bloomingdale's. Also, show favorites, That 70s Show, obsessed with it. I'm already on the 2nd season because I finished Everybody Loves Raymond, and after I finished that, I moved on to Silicon Valley. I finished that, so freaking hilarious, amazing. That didn't take me that long to finish. It only took me like a couple weeks because it was only 3 seasons. Like I had already finished the 1st season with my boyfriend, that I only had 3 seasons to watch. So I just watched that right after Everybody Loves Raymond, and then I moved on to That 70s Show. Oh my god, it's hilarious. I love it. And then I'm almost done with Orphan Black. Orphan Black is getting so good. Holy crap. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Those are the only shows I'm watching right now. After I finish Orphan Black and after that's done forever, I'm going to move on to finishing Downton Abbey and rotating that with That 70s Show. And Doctor Who. Whoever watches Doctor Who, oh my god, that season was amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens with the new female doctor. And yeah, that's it. So please like and subscribe. Sorry, follow me on Instagram at CW819. I'll leave it all down below. I need to start doing that, but I never do it. I'm so lazy, and that's it. Bye, guys. Mwah.